It's been a long time since a new console company entered the marketplace, and now we have the Ouya.
No, I thought you had it.
No, I don't.
You were sitting on it.
Despite its size, it packs all the essentials like HDMI, regular and micro USB slots, and Ethernet. Obviously, there's no disk drive. This thing is 100% digital, and I actually think it's quite a stylish little box, Hex.
Yeah, I do too. It's just a shame that the same level of quality hasn't carried over to the controller. I mean, the layout is fine. It's nice they've included a touchpad. It's just that the main buttons feel really flimsy, especially the triggers. Plus, our O button kept getting stuck onto the faceplate. In saying that, considering the Ouya bundle only costs around $100, I guess we shouldn't be expecting too much. And the best part is the open nature of the Ouya means you could just plug a 360 or PS3 controller in and use those instead.
But let's talk about the games, because that's what really matters. The premise of the Ouya is that every game needs to be free to play in some form. Some are completely free and others have microtransactions, but most of them just give you a free demo, and after that you're prompted to purchase the full game. I like that you can sample everything for free, but you can't see the price until you press purchase when you're playing the game. And then you're only one confirmation away from being billed. I've already purchased one game I didn't actually mean to buy, and I think this could be a real problem for younger gamers who might rack up the bills.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings about the game store as well. I mean, I like the playlist provided by some of Ouya's developers. And with a couple of hundred games available already, there's no shortage to flick through, but they're pretty much all ports of Android touchscreen games. Some are old games you'll have heard of, like The Bard's Tale and Final Fantasy III, but mostly they're obscurities like this. Or this.
Understandably, the Ouya doesn't pack a lot of 3D power, but the game I found which demonstrated its potential the most was Shadowgun. It's a third-person shooter where your time is split between shooting guys from behind cover and kicking doors open. Yep, it's pretty much Gears of War light.
Yes, the hero John Slade is about as generic as his name suggests. I mean, even the voice actor didn't sound like he was interested in the plot.
Deciphering the break code will be very difficult.
Well, we don't have much time. My arrival made the evening news.
This game was impressive on touchscreen because it was a novelty having a console-like shooter on your phone. But when you port it back to the lounge room, it just highlights how shallow it is.
Yeah, I mean, the game is missing some pretty fundamental things. I mean, where's the melee or the big action set pieces? I mean, all you really get is corridor after corridor of dim-witted AI hiding behind cover. Shadowgun feels a little bit more like a tech demo than a real game, so I'm giving it 4.
I was impressed with how good a game can look coming from this tiny little box, but having said that, yes, it is terrible, and I'm giving it 4.
Next up, Towerfall. Towerfall takes the Smash Brothers brawling template and gives it a retro coat of paint.
Yes, this is one of the most minimal fighting games I've played in quite a while. Combos and command lists have been stripped away. The game's only weapon is a bow and arrow. Plus, your ammo is limited, so you really need to make sure you land your shots.
Yeah, I was stunned the first time I fired off my arrows and then realized I was completely out of ammo. So you learn pretty quickly to retrieve arrows from walls. Plus, then I discovered you could just jump on any opponent's head to kill them, so that was pretty good too. I mean, it's not much of an attack against a volley of arrows, but it's handy to know you're not completely defenseless when you're out of ammo. The game also has a handy dodge that you can use for evading and extending jumps. You know, once I had a handle on the basics, I actually had a lot of fun with the multiplayer.
Yeah, it was quite the hit in the office.
Well, that's a great start to the match, me. Oh no! Oh, that was such a fluke. I felt.
Oh, I thought he's still alive over there. I'm trying to get him.
What are we doing? There is no online supported in Towerfall though, or in any Ouya game actually, so you really need to rope in your friends and make sure you have 4 controllers handy to get the most out of this.
I didn't like that it only had a handful of training maps, which you blow through in about 10 minutes, but then there was no single-player campaign.
Yeah, I agree single player would have been great, but those 4-player matches were just so much fun, and this is definitely one of the better games we've looked at on this console, so I'm giving it 8.
I'm giving it 7.5. It'll be interesting to see where this console goes from here, because I could see it as a good source for indie games for your TV.
Yeah, and I really hope they pull it off, because the concept of a free-to-play console is a really good one.
Now, gaming addiction is a term we're all familiar with, but recently the medical profession made it official.
Goose takes a look at just what that means.